Ryan Borucki saw his first game action since getting shut down with elbow tightness back at spring training in Dunedin. And the left-hander had a very nice showing in Saturday's Blue Jays intra-squad game. Let's get instant analysis from MLB insider Arden Zwelling. Arden, Borucki threw 3 scoreless innings and then told us afterwards that he's added a new weapon to his arsenal.
Yeah, he's incorporating a cutter instead of the slider that we've seen him throw in recent years. And they're similar pitches, but the cutter is going to be a bit firmer and a bit tighter with less break than the slider. And Borucki was saying he really thinks it's going to play well off of his fastball. And we have to remember the most important pitch for Ryan Borucki is the changeup. That's what he's trying to get to. It's going to be his out pitch most of the time. So if he can attack hitters on the inside half of the plate with fastballs and now cutters that break off of the fastball and move a little bit differently, he can change the eye level, open up the outer half of the plate and down and away and hopefully get to that changeup. He can also work backwards and start with the changeup and get the hitter thinking about that before coming back with the fastball and the cutters. So, Hazel, I'm just going to be really interested to see the evolution of this repertoire and how Ryan Borucki uses those weapons.
He was asked whether, he thought about being a reliever. What did he say about that?
He said he's never thought about it, which you would say as somebody who wants to be a starter. And, he said he hasn't had any of those conversations with Blue Jays brass about it. I do think that when you look at some of these depth starters for the Blue Jays behind their first 4, I'm thinking of guys like Borucki, Anthony Kay, some of those individuals, they might have to come out of the bullpen if the Blue Jays have to look at using piggybacks to help a starter who's not quite stretched out all the way, or if they just need to repurpose some arms to get through this season. Remember, every team's going to be up against it. Opening day is in less than 2 weeks, so teams are going to get creative with how they deploy their pitching staffs. I think Ryan Borucki will stay stretched out, but we'll see just where in the games he appears.
He did say mentally he was going to work as a starter unless someone in the organization tells him otherwise. Speaking of someone capable of doing pretty good work on the mound, how about Nate Pearson? Over 2 innings of work, threw 31 pitches, 18 for strikes. He allowed no hits, no walks. He struck out 2 and walked 1. He said, Arden, afterwards that he used the time during that shutdown wisely to really sharpen up his secondary stuff. What did you see?
Yeah, it's so important for him, Hazel, and he was great, which what else is new? Every time we see Nate Pearson on the mound, he is doing pretty well, but you could tell that he really enjoyed being in this big league atmosphere, big league mound, pitching against a big league lineup. Charlie Montoyo threw out his A-side against Nate Pearson to give him a true test. You could tell that Nate was really excited there. He got some big league battles out of it as well. Bo Bichette gave him a real tough battle right out of the leadoff spot, and then Kevin Biggio, after falling behind 0-2, actually worked a walk through fouling off some tough pitches and really making Nate get to that secondary stuff that Hazel was talking about. And it's so important to him. The changeup, the curveball, the slider, throwing those pitches for strikes is what's really going to judge the evolution of him as a starter. That's how he's going to turn this lineup over 3 times and pitch deep into ball games. We all know he's got an explosive fastball and it can be overpowering, but he needs those secondary weapons that he can throw for strikes to keep in the back of hitters' minds and allow him to get hitters out several times in an outing.
All right, before we go, I want to kind of tie a bow on the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. move to first base. Rowdy Tellez met with the media virtually, of course, pre-game, and he really said all the right things, Arden, as far as how he felt about that move.
Yeah, he said Vladdy's been asking him the right questions, and, he's been very supportive of Vlad moving over to first and trying to help him get up to speed at the position. And we all tend to kind of think of first base as this position that anyone on the diamond can play, but there is a lot more going on over there than meets the eye. There's a lot of footwork around the bag, there's holding runners on, there's positioning, there's your clock and understanding where throws are going to be coming from infielders and how to properly approach them and step to them. There's a lot going on. So Rowdy says that Vlad's been asking all the right questions about that. And sure, this will likely cut into Rowdy Tellez's playing time at first base. You want Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s bat in the lineup, but Hazel, if Rowdy's going to keep hitting the way he has early in camp, he's not going to have to worry that much about playing time because Charlie Montoyo is going to get him in the lineup.
And he had a really good he's got really good attitude. He said, having Vladdy over at first base is beneficial for the entire team. Arden Zwelling, I'm Hazel Mae. That's your MLB Instant Analysis.